This is Mick Foley.
This is Harley Race.
This is Shelton Benjamin.
This is Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff.
This is the Monster Abyss.
And this is Daniel Bryan.
This is JBL, and you're watching the MWF.
Be there, live.
Wrestling fans around the corner, around the world, welcome to another installment of the audio-only podcast-style version of Wrestling Insiders. I'm Dan Maratti, along with my partner in crime up in Auburn, Maine.
This is WWE owner and COE Vince McMahon Jr., a.k.a. Mr. USA, Tony Atlas.
Tony, how was the weekend, brother?
Well, I'm still here. I still got my health. I work out 4 days a week. I eat real good. I can't pay my mortgage, but I'm doing okay.
Well, Tony, we hate to hear that again. For folks, we're going to bombard you right away. If you head on over to the links below, head on over to eBay. Tony is available for drawings. He's available for personal phone calls. He's available for personal appearances, birthday parties, maybe even sing you a song if you like, although I've never heard you sing, Tony.
And sex.
And sex. All right, well.
Only with parakeets.
Only with parakeets. All right.
Yes, because I like having a pecking good time.
All right, Tony. The fans were thrilled last week. We had so many audio episodes for them. A lot of points of view about Ronda Rousey, Alberto Del Rio. Ernie Ladd came up, Winona Littlehart passing away. We always find unique things to talk about on this show, Tony. This week, early on, we don't want to spoil some of the projects you're working on, but we're going to have one little wrestling episode today, and then tomorrow we're going to bring fans the first World According to Tony Atlas episode, which I think is going to be amusing.
I think we lost another wrestler.
Well, you know what? That's what I want. Before we get into the main topic of conversation for this episode, and I want to stress to the fans, we're taping this Monday night around 4 o'clock. So by the time this is available to fans Tuesday, my educated assumption would be, yes, we would have lost another member of the Brotherhood, Tony, a man that was with us last year, not at WrestleCon, but at I think it was called Markout at the Meadowlands, the morning of WrestleMania. There was with myself, Dutch Mantell, his tag team partner, JTG. We're talking about, I think, the same person, Shad Gaspard, Tony.
Right.
Now, for the fans that don't know, Sunday, Shad and his family went to the beach out in California. They hit a rip current. As people came out to try and save them, lifeguards and such, they were able to get to the sun. But as of this time, which is now 24 hours after the fact, they still have not found Shad. And unless he's some kind of a hell of a swimmer, Tony, I don't think most people are going to last for 24 hours out in the ocean.
No. And
it's very sad. Good guy. I enjoyed the appearance we had with him. Him and JTG, both good guys. I know you had a chance to work with them. Well, maybe at this point, Tony, we should try and think more. Try and send out some positive vibes. What's that now?
I was in Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
Back in the early 80s.
Mm-hmm.
And I was standing on in the water that was up to my waist. It was up to my waist. I'm just standing. I'm not moving.
All right.
All of a sudden, the ground underneath me disappeared.
The ground underneath you disappeared. How did that
work?
It vanished.
It just disappeared. My feet was no longer on ground.
There was no sand underneath you.
Nothing. I was just standing there.
And what happened?
All of a sudden, you don't feel like you're moving.
Yeah.
A rip current. I don't know if people. What I'm saying, I've been in one.
Oh, you've been in one. Okay.
It don't feel like you don't know it's happening. That's the scary thing about it. Until you look up and you find yourself 10 to 15, maybe even 20 feet from the shore without even moving.
So what happened? Did the water move you, or did the land just
Well, that's how rip current works. You don't. It's the current. It goes in. It pulls you out, but you don't feel the pull.
You don't even feel it.
You don't feel it.
You don't.
A lot of people don't know that. I was in one in Puerto Rico, luckily, and I remember I was just standing there. I was talking to someone, and all of a sudden I noticed my feet leaving the ground. I said, "What the hell is happening?" Because the wave came in, right?
Mm-hmm.
The water went down to my knees when the wave went in.
Mm-hmm.
So when the wave came back out, I was I was floating, but I don't feel it. I don't feel like I move. So I look down and I'm trying to test the, you know how you do automatically when your feet come off or something, you try to put your feet. I'm trying to put my feet back on the ground. I'm
Right.
trying not to drift out into the ocean. I'm trying, right?
Mm-hmm.
I look up, brother, and I'm out in the fucking middle of the ocean.
Now, how did you get out of it, Tony? How did you get out of this riptide?
Well, I don't know if I ever told anybody this, but from age 16 until age 20, I was a lifeguard.
Tony, out of all the stories I've heard from you, sometimes dozens of times ad nauseum, I have never heard the story about you being a lifeguard. How did this come to be?
Well, in Hurt Park, you can look all this up. There's a place called Hurt Park, Hurt Park, Park, and they had a swimming pool. I used to work for an organization they're called TAP. TAP is Total Action Against Poverty.
Mm-hmm.
And from what I hear, the program is still going. It's in Roanoke, Virginia, and what we learned. Certain things I learned from being a white guy. Don't you swim? Like let's say if the whip current is going east, right? Then you swim not against it. That would take you more out, and you don't swim with it. You swim across from it, parallel to the shoreline.
That's what I read today is the most successful way to try and get out of one.
That's the only way.
Yeah.
That's the only way. Because if you try to fight to go against it, you go out more.
So
you can't swim against it. And you don't feel yourself moving. A rip current is just that damn strong. That thing can move a ship. So you don't move it, that's why you don't feel it. You're so light to it. It's like a feather landing in the water. You know, like if you stand on a bridge and you drop a piece of paper down off the bridge into the river, and you see how the paper just float right on top of the water all the way down the river. That's how you do in a rip current. So you have to swim. I think I have to use the right terminology, parallel to it.
Yes, that is the right term.
Yeah, so swim parallel to the shore, and that's how I got on it. But luckily for me, the lifeguard came out and helped me to get back to shore because I didn't have enough. I was running out of steam, brother. I would have never made it. That lifeguard
on this Puerto Rican beach, yeah.
Yeah, and he told me. He said, amigo, you lucky hombres. You knew what to do. He said most people don't know what to do, and then he told me I did the right thing because I swim parallel to the shore. You try to swim to the shore, you see yourself going further and further and further. That thing will take you in about a seconds. 10 to 20 miles out from shore. In seconds.
10 to 20 miles?
In seconds.
Really? Now, I didn't know
in seconds. It don't happen in minutes.
Seconds.
Seconds.
Wow. Well,
by the time a minute go by, you way out there.
I guess even if a worse scenario comes, which we're
right,
expecting.
A minute, people always look at minutes. Minutes is a long time in a situation like that. Like if you fall for the Empire State Building, you're going to hit the ground less than a second.
Well,
I mean, less than a minute.
Hopefully, I never find myself in that
well,
situation.
No, I mean, if you stop to think about it, even the Empire State Building, at, what is it, almost a half a mile long or high?
I believe so.
Right. Well, in less than 1 minute, if you fall off the top of it, you'll be on the ground. Less than 1 minute.
Well,
the rip current is nothing to play with. That's why after Puerto Rico, there was 2 incidents that made me never go into the freaking ocean again.
So what happened after this incident on a Puerto Rican beach? More happened to you in the water?
Well,
what else?
It was during the same time we were talking about a movie one day about Jaws, you know?
About what?
Jaws.
Jaws. Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so I asked one of the lifeguards on the beach, I said, y'all had any shark attacks around here? He said, not right here, but over by the rocks we do. I said, wait a minute. So, what's separating the rock from where we are? Because I can walk to the rock. Where the rocks are there, I can walk. So if I can walk there without blowing up, It tell me the shark is swim where I'm at. I said, what's stopping the shark from come over here? He said, oh, they around here all the time, Tony. He said, we have to go out there and get them out of nets and stuff. He said, he showed me things where people be swimming, and the sharks is, it's right there. They're not that far away. You'd be surprised how close they are when you're in the water. They hear that splashing.
Yeah.
And so they started, and the worst shark is not the great white like people think is that damn tiger shark. He just bites you just for the hell of it.
Now, did you?
That's how most people get bitten. The sharks don't really like humans, but how you would touch something with your hand to see what it feel like?
Yeah.
They don't have hands, so they use their mouth.
Oh.
They bite it to see if they like it. If they don't like it, they just go away. That's why a lot of people get shark bite, but not shark eaten.
They like
they
a
don't
little
really
taste.
like the taste. They don't like the taste of humans anyway. They
want to sample the goods.
Well, they just test it to see what it is. That's how they see. They want to see what it is.
Did you encounter any Puerto Rican sharks?
Huh?
Did you encounter any Puerto Rican sharks?
No, but early in the morning, me and Lisa, we used to go and sit up on this cliff. Mm-hmm. And then you can see them at nighttime. They hover around. They're closer to the beach at nighttime than they are during the daytime. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they're looking for food.
Well,
around. Yeah. That's what they do.
I hope I never encounter one.
Well, there's a lot of little fish and different type of animals that come around them at nighttime, and they would go hunt them and stuff. But I learned a lot from the vet they are. And then the guy told me about jellyfish. I saw a guy that they pulled out of the water one time that got hit by a jellyfish. It looked like somebody took an electrical cord and wrapped it around his leg and plugged it into the wall.
Wow.
I mean, every inch, wherever that them tentacle touch you, it burned. It looked like a burn, just like somebody got burned by a branding iron or something.
Well, I've never encountered one of them either.
I see a lot of shit. Yeah, I see a lot of shit with the beaches with rip curls and sharks and freaking a jellyfish. So I got no need for it.
How often were you at the beach in Puerto Rico that you had all these encounters?
We went every day. All the boys did because all the hotel is. If you've been to San Juan, all the hotel is right there on the beach.
Who did you go to the beach with?
I went with Lisa.
Well, who? You just said the boys. Who else did you go with?
It was mostly Lisa. She was my wife at that time.
Oh, you were married. Okay.
Yeah, Lisa. She was the same woman that was a witness to the incident with Jimmy Snooker that I told you about.
Yes.
Yeah. Her name. She used to date Jimmy Snooker first, and then Jimmy left her for the girl that eventually got killed with him.
Tony, you've had an amazing life. Let me tell you.
Well, as a wrestler, not today.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I feel sorry for the guys today. I hear a lot of old time at conventions say this. They never got the same experience and we got. Like, for example, when I first came to WWF, you would drive to Massachusetts, you drive to Connecticut, you drive to Pennsylvania, you drive to Maryland, you drive to Washington, you drive to Maine, you drive to New Hampshire, you drove everywhere. And along the way, you got to see things. Now, the only thing that these guys, the only experience that wrestlers today get with the WWE is airports and hotels.
Right.
They don't see the country.
And there's not much of an experience with the rats anymore, like what you guys had.
No, because with that cut out, believe it or not, had nothing to do with wrestling. That came cut out in the 90s because of a thing they call AIDS.
AIDS was the end of the rat experience.
AIDS was the end of a lot of promiscuous activity among not just wrestlers, just among American period.
Except for Magic Johnson.
I went to Club 54 one time, man. They used to put the drugs on the table. I mean, on the bar, you see glass of cocaine on the bar. On the bar. People public got high and were public doing stuff, had sexual activities in corners and blowjobs, in bathrooms. This was Club 54. Yeah.
Studio 54, I think, is what you're referring to.
Yeah, Studio 54. But so the whole country was in Malta sin at that time until AIDS came. AIDS slowed down all that sexual activity. I mean, you go on 40 Sucker Street back in the early 80s, there was peep shows and strip joints and bathhouses. Like a bathhouse, it was for where a lot of gay guys go. And what they would do, they would go in there they had like a jacuzzi and all that stuff. And they'd go in there, really, they didn't go in there for the jacuzzi, they go in there for the sex.
So there were gay bathhouses in Times Square. I didn't know that. All right.
Oh, yeah, in New York. They had massage parlors.
Yeah.
Where you go in, where what the girl would rub your shoulders a little bit, she rub your back a little bit, and rub your penis a lot.
Yeah.
That's what they was for, to go there and, get whacked off there. So they had a lot of this stuff, going on, and a lot of, it was a different time. But to get back to the wrestling part of it, I was able, like Klondike Bill first told me, said, Tony, you broke into a business. This is a paid trip around the world.
And it really is in a lot of ways.
Not now.
Well, they still get to travel to. Maybe they just don't get to see as much. They don't get to see as much, right?
They make the trip with blindfolders on. Yeah. These guys could go to Pittsburgh, and you say, hey, how was the trip to Pittsburgh? He could tell you three things: what the airport looked like, what his hotel looked like, and what the arena looked like. But he couldn't tell you a damn thing about Pittsburgh.
Right. Yep.
When I went there, I knew where Manager was at. I knew where to go get the best Italian food, because a lot of Italian people in Pittsburgh, So I knew where the best restaurants was at. I knew where the gyms was at.
Free meals sometimes.
Yeah.
You knew the spot to get a freebie.
Yeah, because we drove there. We saw the landscape. We saw the country. We was able to see the country. Like when I drive down to our Melrose, I could see a lot driving down to Melrose. I see different scenery, different trees, mountains, lakes, and all type of stuff. Like the last time I came down, I saw this nice barbecue place. I stopped and got me some barbecue.
You surprised me. Usually you have,
man,
that wasn't your usual
restaurant,
cuisine when you come to the studio.
WWE wrestler, they only know one restaurant in the Boston area.
And you know which one that is. You got that right.
That's the only one they know.
Yeah.
They don't know anything else. They only know one hotel. They don't know where another hotel is. They don't know where the gym is, but one gym. They don't know anything about the town that they went to, whereas in our day, we got to talk to the people. That they would take us out there. They said, Tony, if you want some good soul food, go to this place. You want some good Chinese food, go to this place. So at the fairs, during that time, they was kind of like part of the family. We knew them personally.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't like today where the fan be out there and he would see John Cena or Undertaker, and he would just wave and holler at John Cena, hoping that John Cena would wave back, hoping.
Exactly.
In my day, they run up to me and Tony, can I help you with the bag? They walk me to my car. We sat there, we chit chat, we take pictures together. I get in the car and I said, well, I'll be back here next month. Hey, will you come back, Tony? I'll bring you some of my mom going to bring you some fried chicken. My mom make good fried chicken. She's going to bring you some next time you come back. Okay, buddy, thank you. When our birthday came, people would give us birthday presents. Come to the arena, give us birthday presents. It was almost like the fans and the wrestlers in the 70s. I can't speak past the 70s. I wasn't in the business. But anything from the 70s up until today, I can speak on. And I really, really feel sorry for, like I say, for the guys today in wrestling compared to my day in wrestling, because they got no story to tell.
Different experience for sure.
What story? And they got no stories to tell either, because everything is corporate. They can't do what we did.
Yeah.
You walk into a WWE dressing room, you can hear a rat piss on cotton.
And we're not talking about a ring rat. You're talking about the animal.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, is that quiet? If you feel like you walk into a funeral.
Yeah.
Where in the older days, guys were laughing and joking, pulling ribs on each other. I mean, you could hear the wrestlers. You knew what room they was in before you even got to the room.
Yeah.
You knew where they were dressed at. You could hear them down the hallway. Vince used to come in the dressing room. Hey, guy, hold it down. We're doing something out here. Hold it down for a minute. We're trying to tape something. You had to go tell us to be quiet. Now he had to tell them to make some noise. They wrestle on pins and needles.
Yeah.
Nobody talks to nobody. Nobody want to ride with nobody. Nobody want to share a room with nobody. There's no closeness. None.
Well,
None.
it's a different era. Hopefully, maybe by some way, shape, or form, it'll get back to what it was. I won't hold my breath, but you never know. Stranger things have happened, right?
Because this is what happened to wrestling. Once a business become corporate.
Yeah.
Corporate. What happened to that business? They had to follow all the corporate rules.
Right.
So the rules for wrestling are the same rules that they got in the White House, the same rules they got into the executive office of every major company in America. The same rules.
All right. Well, maybe it'll dissolve itself.
That's why the characters are not are wound up so tight, because they're so afraid of letting loose. That's why they look so staged and so pre-planned.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
See, we get fired up. We get fired up in the back there because nobody told us what to say.
Right.
So we get all fired up in the back. And by the time they said, Tony, it's your interview, man, I'm ready to go. I'm full of piss and vinegar. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
These guys now, they sit there and read the script, and they hoping, and as they talk, they hope they don't miss a line or something.
Exactly.
Right, because it's already planned for what them to say. The same thing in the matches. That's why the matches look like shit, because everything is planned.
Yeah.
And people can see it's planned. It's nothing spontaneously.
All right.
Like, I give you an example of how things was different. I was wrestling Greg Valentine in Hartford, Connecticut.
Did it take him 15 minutes to get warmed up?
No.
No, all right.
When I'm in the ring with Greg the Hammer Valentine, and I got up on the top rope, the second rope, I used to get up on the second rope, and I was supposed to come up, that this was supposed to be what's supposed to happen. I was supposed to give him a headbutt.
Mm-hmm.
Then I was supposed to pick him up for the press slam.
Mm-hmm.
And then for the press slam, and then I would go, he was supposed to roll out the ring. We were supposed to do a double count out.
Mm-hmm. Right?
Because they was pushing Valentine at that time with the honky-tonk man. He had black hair there. Remember that?
When he was with Rhythm and Blues, yeah.
Right. He dyed his hair black.
Jet black.
That's right, jet black. So anyway, make a long story short, I got up on the rope. The rope broke.
And what did you do?
I didn't do nothing. Valentine took the turnbuckle,
Mm-hmm.
the piece of metal,
Mm-hmm.
and he went to work on it. He started beating me with it. The referee tried to stop him. He hit the referee with it. Well, that's automatic DQ. We was able to come back and do another match off of that.
You got a return match out of it, yeah.
We got a return match out, but it was not planned.
It was working.
Right. We go
working.
with what. Yeah, the old town worker, he would go with what is working that night.
Yeah.
Now you could discuss something what you want to do, but get to the ring. You would wrestle a guy like Dory Funk Jr. or Terry Funk, and kid, listen to the people. They always say, I'll go with that. I'll keep doing that. Keep doing that. The people like that. Keep doing that. And we would keep doing it. We would milk it for everything it's worth.
Mm-hmm.
The guys now, they don't pay attention to what the people want because they already got a plan what they're going to do. So what the people want, they will ignore. You ever notice sometimes you had an independent show, you see the people really getting into something, and then the rest will change and go do something else.
Right.
See? And then you hear the people just drop. You hear the cheer just stop.
Yeah.
Because now the people say, what the fuck they doing now?
They can't improvise.
Why the hell you doing that?
They can't improvise.
Where they lost the people because they're not listening to them.
Right.
People will respond, just like I told one wrestler, when you go down on the mat and you hear the people cheering for you to get up or try to get up.
Struggle.
Because if you don't, they won't cheer for you anymore. They will cheer as long as they know you're cheering and helping. That will make them feel like they part of the match.
They feel like they're the third man, yeah.
Exactly. And they feel you coming up because they telling you to get up. Like, you see a guy there, come on, get up. You can do it, get up. But if you don't get up, then they stop asking you to.
In their minds, they think they're wasting their breath.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, just like if you call somebody on the phone, and every time you call, after a while you say, well, shit, the person don't want to talk to me. He ignoring my call.
It's like
But
a
that's how
call
the
from
fans
Reno
feel.
Chastain. Yeah. Feels
Exactly.
like it's
So when you
wasted
ignore the
time.
fans of this, right? They would ignore your match. I know one guy. He could never learn to do it.
Who?
His name was I love him to death. His name was Ox Baker.
Ox Baker couldn't improvise.
No, Ox never listened to it. He hollered and screamed at her, but Ox, he never became what you call a good worker because he never learned that technique.
Yeah.
I remember one time he was wrestling and we were down in Missouri, and I can't remember. I think his name was Bill Geiger or something like that.
Bob
Was a promoter
Geigel.
down
Yeah,
there.
Bob
Bob
Geigel.
Geiger.
Yeah.
And he said, Ox, for once, you have all the people up. He said, yeah. He said, yeah, Ox, you had them all up. They was up getting popcorn.
Well, we miss old Ox.
Ox was one of the best people I've met in my life.
He was a man that knew how to get a free meal when he had to. That's for sure.
Well, he had to because, see, Ox was the type of guy, he never spoke up for himself. Ox's biggest payday in this business, he told me, was $45,000 for the year.
Do you think that is a testament to the fact that other than his promos and his physical appearance, he wasn't actually very good when the bell rang?
No, they used to make fun. They used to make fun of Bobo Brazil too, because Bobo was a $500 a night man. Like Bobo would wrestle against Andre getting $1,500. Bobo get $500.
They'd never give Bobo more than $5.
Never.
Really?
Yeah, but they just tease him because the $500 man. $500 per match. That's the most Bobo ever made. Famous, all that. And there was a lot of guys like that too. See, that was the problem with, and I told you this one time before, that a lot of wrestlers had with the promoter. Like, for example, Thunderbolt Patterson would be the main event in Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
He wrestled against Ric Flair.
Yeah.
For the Georgia title. Thunderbolt is the champion, okay? Ric Flair would get maybe $2,500 for that match.
Mm-hmm.
And they would give what you find about anywhere between $350 to $750.
That's it.
Yep, and he's a bitch about it. Well, that was started that riff with Ultimate Warrior and Hogan, same shit.
Well, I don't think that discrepancy was as big as what you just mentioned with Flair and Thunderbolt Patterson, but.
Yeah, but the Warrior, it was all the way up until the Warrior. The last time I heard about it with the Warrior, where the Warrior was going to fight Hogan, and somehow Warrior overheard Hogan talking about how much he going to get paid. The Warrior went to Vince, and he said, wait a minute now. He said, how come I'm being the main event with Hogan and everything, and he's getting $1 million, and I'm getting $700,000?
Well, they were in a tag team main event at SummerSlam 91, but other than that, you're right.
And that's why you notice that WrestleMania, when he got inducted in the Hall of Fame, he kept that check.
Did he?
Yeah, if you watch his introduction into the Hall of Fame, he pulled out the check. He said, is this check still good?
I don't remember that part of it. That's funny.
Yeah, yep. He pulled that check out. He got inducted. Come in here, we talked on the phone before he died.
Well, Tony, I tell you, the stories in your head never cease to amaze us. Now we're just about a half an hour into the. Right? No, you're still not done.
Vince wrote him a check, right?
Yeah.
Warrior said, no, I don't want a check because you could call the bank in the moment and cancel it. He said, I want cash.
He wanted the cash.
Yeah, so they went up front. All the scolded there went up front and got the money for me and paid him that day. But all these years, he kept the check.
Well, it was a hell of a momentum for him, I guess. But I tell you, for all that the Warrior was able to get out of that situation, he sure cost himself in the long run. It was more a part of being penny smart, dollar stupid. He could have made himself millions and millions and millions of dollars more if he wasn't so difficult to do business with at times. But we'll have to save that for another.
But I'm going to tell you something,
Let's hear it.
He came out better by doing that than not doing it. Here's the reason why.
Let's hear it.
He was not your typical stupid wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
He bought a couple of gyms.
Mm-hmm.
He was comfortable with Vince Benham. He was getting $15,000 to do Saturns. You know that.
Oh, I'm well aware of that. But what I'm saying
Right.
is,
I mean, he didn't miss a beat. He kept his, he kept his health and everything. He didn't get all beat up.
I don't know if I would go as far as to say he kept his health, considering he keeled over and died at the age he did. But
well, no, what happened? Vince would have killed him off eventually, where he would not be able to make no $15,000 per Saturday. He'd be down where I mean. Vince would have
I don't know about
it.
that. Once guys reach that top level in that era, they're worth good money forever. That's why you needed just a few more good years in WWF where you were in the early 80s and the later 80s, and you'd be worth 4 or 5 times what you get now.
But see, what you don't know Vince.
All right.
Vince would have broken down sooner or later anyway.
But what I'm saying is, if you look at the guys that were main eventers from just say the early 80s through today, even when they leave that company, they can still command a very hefty payday when they leave. And he might have jobbed Warrior out at some point, maybe, but Warrior still would have been worth a lot of money.
They would have. They would have. I just believe that Vince would have destroyed him even worse.
Well, there was a love-hate relationship between them for a long time. You're right about that.
Yeah. He would have destroyed him sooner or later anyway, because that was just how Vince did. He makes something and then he tears that up to build something else. There are very few guys he didn't do that to. Very few. Look at what the Big Show means right now.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Well, you know what, Tony? Before we drift off, you don't even know what the main topic of this episode is, which is funny. But I have to comment on something, a nasty message that a fan wrote on one of our episodes last week that insinuated that you and I were idiots because we didn't consider the Big Show to be a household name. And to that gentleman that left the message, I think that man should go out and actually communicate to someone that isn't a professional wrestling fan and see if they have any idea who or what Big Show is if you went up to them on the street. If you went up to someone on the street and you said Andre the Giant, if you said The Rock, if you said Steve Austin, if you said Hulk Hogan, those are household names. The Big Show is not a household name to someone that isn't a fan of professional wrestling. I'm sorry.
Well, it's true.
Well, thank you, Tony. Well, this gentleman that and I'm going to be a gentleman and say that this gentleman that left the message certainly did not agree with us and insinuated that you and I were stupid.
Well, to him, Big Show is a big household name to each and all. So he's not wrong.
He hasn't been in too many households then if he thinks the Big Show is a household name.
What it is, you not wrong, I'm not wrong, he's not wrong,
no,
because everybody look at things in their own perspective. What I'm trying to say is they never allowed him to be what he could have been. Very true.
And I think that's what you and I agree on.
The same thing with Mark Henry. Mark Henry, to me, they never turned Mark Henry loose. They never did, in my opinion. I sat there and watched it. I saw Mark Henry. I love him. I'm not knocking him. I saw him wrestle the Hardy Boy. I don't know how many times. What, Matt Hardy?
Yeah. You were ringside for a lot of those.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I mean, the Mark Henry was 200 pounds heavier.
Right.
A 450-pound man is in there taking bumps and flying all over the ring for a guy that weighed 210 pounds.
You're right.
If that. You met Matt Hardy. You bigger than Matt
I know
Hardy.
them both. I was blown away by that man's comment, Tony. Not to say that the Big Show hasn't had a good run, especially financially, in the world of professional wrestling, sure. But
he made more money. He made a lot of money. He had a big, hefty contract.
Oh, he was 7 figures from the day he walked in the door back in 1999 to this day. So don't give me that. He did exceptionally well. But as far as where fame took him to non-wrestling fans, I don't think he's well known. That's all.
No.
All right, well, we agree on that. All right, Tony, let's get to the main point of contention of this episode. Again, tomorrow the fans are going to be in for a treat when we have the Atlas World News, but a lot of fans messaged us, Tony. They want to know, and I have some strong opinions on it, believe it or not. What do you think about the man, Becky Lynch, the Raw Women's Champion, forfeiting the championship last week because she announced that she was impregnated by Seth Rollins on Monday Night Raw, going from being the man to a teary-eyed future mother? What do you think, Tony?
You can't make this shit up.
All right, well.
Who cares?
Well, I look at it like this. It rattles my brain because for the past year and a half or so, she was, other than Ronda Rousey, the main focus of that women's division. The company built that entire platform around everything Becky Lynch. She got the win in the first main event in the history of WrestleMania with women in it, and it was a lackluster main event with a lackluster response, let me tell you. The only semi-job that Ronda Rousey did in her year and a half in the company. Everything WWE was built around Becky Lynch, and then she shows up one day. And let me say this before I begin. I think as a human being, it's wonderful if you have a kid and you want it. You know how much the little Marathis have meant to my world. But at the same time, when a billion-dollar corporation builds this entire women's platform around you, I think the company deserved a little bit more respect. I think the fan base deserved a little bit more respect. I think the peers that laid down and did jobs for a year and a half, night after night, pay-per-view after pay-per-view, deserved a little bit more respect. Then you just show up one day and said, hey, surprise, I'm pregnant. I think it deserved a little bit more planning and preparation. I think the execution was a failure on that.
Well, I'm not saying you're wrong, but you make a very good point. It's a very good point you just made. The way I see it is this.
Yeah.
To be a woman, anything, you have to make what is more important to you important. You know you get pregnant.
Yeah.
You know it's going to happen sooner or later.
Mm-hmm.
You have unprotected sex. You know that. In most corporations, the women get a paid leave.
Oh, sure.
And probably she's going to get that in the WWE too. She probably got the same, like Mickey James left and had a baby.
I'm sure that the Becky Lynch paycheck isn't going to be ending anytime soon. But my point of contention is, Tony, WWE did everything possible to present her as the face of the women of that organization for the past year and a half. Then without even losing the title in the ring, she was irresponsible enough to get pregnant like that. I think that's disrespectful to the peers. I think it's disrespectful to the company. And I think it's disrespectful to the fans. One man's opinion.
I'm not going to go that heavy on saying she was disrespectful. Because
all right, let's say she wanted to have a baby, and that's fine. All right, let's say, WWE, Vince McMahon, Seth and I want to have a baby. Do you think we can find a way to write me out in 3 months or 6 months from now so we can make a new female superstar instead of just handing it over in the middle of the ring?
See, you only giving it from a male point of view. See, we don't have them situations. There's a lot of guys that could get a girl pregnant.
Sure.
It don't affect their career at all.
Right.
You see, it only affects the career of the woman. I mean, when my wife got pregnant, it didn't affect me at all.
Right.
So it's kind of hard for these women to have a normal life because we out doing things. I mean, we doing it. We knocking women up.
Yeah.
We having babies as men. You see.
Yeah.
But it don't interfere. So the only thing I can say, if they're going to be doing this with women, then they have to. Vince know that women get pregnant. You can't put it all on her. They know that women get pregnant.
You're not necessarily wrong, but all right, let's just maybe we're looking at it from a corporate point of view, like this is an office setting or something like that.
Well, it's not.
No. Hold on. Let me finish and then respond to it,
okay.
buddy. Give me the chance, and then I'll let you roll. This is quote-unquote sports, and it's quote-unquote entertainment. There are television shows and movie contracts that have it written in. They need you to look and be a certain way, which is without child.
Right.
So I have nothing against the human being wanting to go out and have a kid. I think that's a great thing if they want to have a kid. From a professional point of view, I think she owed the company the courtesy of saying, this is what we want to do.
Right.
I'll give you a month or two to write me out so we can start to build a new woman, as opposed to her standing in the middle of the ring and giving it to a raving woman screaming in Japanese as she's giving this heartfelt speech about how she wants to be a mother. I thought it was an embarrassment of a segment, while many thought it was very good. But that's just how I see it. I think the organization and the genre deserved more respect than her just walking off and not doing any business on the way out.
Well, I'm not going to disagree with you on that because like I said, that's a male's point of view.
All right.
Now look at it. And I'm not a woman, but from just being with my wife and my daughter and my granddaughters, and I got a lot of women, that tell me what to do all day long.
Yeah.
So it's just from their point of view, what corporation like Vince should put that in his contract.
I agree with that.
I mean, if she did not violate the contract in any kind of way, because my daughter, and I told her this, I'm not embarrassed by it, and she's not either. My daughter was a one-night stand.
You told your daughter she was a one-night
Right.
stand.
When her mother left out the room, that came back to my house and told me that she was pregnant by me.
Yeah.
I looked at her, and this is what I asked her. And no disrespect to her, she's a wonderful, wonderful woman. So there's no disrespect to her. When she came and asked me to tell me about my baby being born, you know what I asked that woman?
I believe you said, "Who's the father?"
No.
What did you say? You told me one time.
I said, "What's your name?"
That was it. What's your name?
What's
Which is
your
probably
name?
even worse. What's your name?
See, so I don't have room to talk about Becky Lynch because it was at the beginning of my career. I've only been wrestling about 3 years before I was a father.
My point of the matter is, Tony, that is a situation from your personal
If
life.
I was a woman,
We do look
if
bad
I
in
was
your
a woman,
personal
I would
life.
be Becky. If Tommy Rich was a woman, he would have been Becky. If Bret Hart was a woman, it'd be Becky. See, they in a different position because they stuck with it. The guy could continue, move on, do what the hell he got to do. The woman is stuck with the decision. And she didn't make that decision by herself, even though Seth Rollins know that woman worked for Vince.
Yeah.
Seth Rollins know that he worked for Vince. Seth Rollins ain't got a damn thing to lose.
Do you think maybe he should have been more careful?
He worked for Vince too, don't it? I mean, and she's a product of the WWE.
I agree with you.
He didn't show no. He didn't rap.
It wasn't done by one person. It was done by two.
He could have put on a rubber.
That's right. Or he could have pulled out.
He
Right?
didn't put on a rubber. See, that's what ended up happening. The woman always. See, I'm not trying to take sides here.
Yeah.
But it takes two to tango. As the old timer taught me, it takes two to tango. And this guy took no precaution of pregnancy.
No, you didn't. You're right. Or it wouldn't
Seth
happen.
Rollins could have. What if Seth had gotten AIDS?
Well, hopefully, he is engaged to her. Hopefully, he'd know if she had AIDS.
He could have got a life-threatening.
Yeah.
He could have got a life-threatening venereal disease too, instead of getting a child out of it. I mean, it's a lot of stuff. He's not being precautionary, but they look at the woman. How come she didn't be more careful? Well, how come the guy didn't put on? How come he didn't put on a raincoat?
It's a two-way street. You're right.
It's a two-way street. She didn't get pregnant by herself, and both are WWE employees. So when you talk about that incident, to leave Seth Rollins out of it, I think is not being honest with us. See, we always look at things from a male point of view, but can't no woman get pregnant without one of us guys helping her.
You know what, Tony? You're 110% right. I agree with you.
Yep, and he's a WWE Hall of Famer. He should have been more
he's not a
careful
Hall
in
of
looking
Famer,
at.
Tony.
That's right, and I mean he's a WWE superstar.
Right, there you go.
Not my mistake. WWE superstar, main eventer. And he know that woman, if he cared about it, that woman is part of Vince's company. So he was just as responsible for violating the company as she were. They both had fought for it.
All I'm saying is, if it was something they planned for and prepared the company for, I think it would have gone over so much better. That's all.
Well, no. Yeah, you're right about that too. But the bottom line is, a woman cannot get pregnant by herself. She needs a little assistance.
So they're both to blame. They're both to blame.
Exactly. But she's the one that gets stuck with it. Is it bothering Seth Rollins' career in it?
We'll have to wait and see if there's any repercussions.
You know that it ain't gonna bother his career now.
You never know. You never know.
History tell me that. You ask any woman, ask any man, ain't no man left that the other got a woman pregnant that hurt his career. Never happened. Never had happened, never will.
How many times has it ever happened, though?
She ended up on the bad end of the stick. Look at this guy, a freight train. What was it? Freight train that the guy also called pregnant.
Oh, Freight Train Dan.
Same thing.
Freight Train Dan wasn't working for WWE when that happened.
It don't matter. I mean, he got a woman. He got a woman that waited a whole life to get a break, And you know how us guys are being very seductive with the woman. Yeah. The woman she go in and have sex with us to please us. And then when it's all said and done, and now there's something. Well, what happened? Well, what happened, buddy, is that you didn't rap. As soon as that woman got into that contract, a freight train should have been a little bit more careful about what he did. He didn't say
Freight Train should have wrapped it. Is that what you're saying? He
had unprotected sex with her.
Freight Train should have wrapped it.
Because he didn't give a shit about her career.
The freight train should have been worried about the caboose. Is that what you're trying to say?
That's exactly.
All right.
Exactly. Is that where you want to put it?
All right.
See, us guys, what I'm trying to say is to be fair.
We don't think about it.
I always like to be fair.
You're a very fair man.
Yeah. Take two to tango.
You're not as cruel as I am, I guess. And again, from the human point of view, I think it's a nice thing that they're going through. It'll be a great part of their lives. I just think they could have prepared and postponed it for a couple of months to try and help build maybe one or two new women on the way out instead of those that were just doing jobs week after week, month after month. I think Asuka would have come off much better if she actually was in an angle where she won the title instead of it being handed it to her by the woman. You know what I mean?
Well, it's still boiled down to the same thing. You still talking about what she should have done. I'm talking about what he should have done.
Well, he should have been more alert too then. He should have wrapped it just like Freight Train Dan.
He didn't give a crap about her getting pregnant.
Seth Rollins and Freight Train Dan are in the same boat, or the same train, I guess.
That's right. He didn't care because he knew he's going to suffer no repercussion.
All right. Well, Tony, again, the fans have questions. You have answers. Sometimes you have answers to questions they don't even ask. We have a lot more great wrestling content coming in the coming days, Tony. But the next time the fans hear from us, which should probably be tomorrow, you and I are going to be having a very interesting discussion that has nothing to do with professional wrestling. You're going to share your thoughts on the world. I'm very anxious to see how this comes to be, Tony.
Yes.
All right, we'll wrap this one up, folks. For the Hall of Famer, Mr. USA, Tony Atlas, I'm Dan Marotti. Don't forget, Tony's available to draw for you. He's got some prints available. He's got autographs. He's got personal phone calls to make. He'll do personal appearances. He'll do birthday parties. He'll Uber if he has to. He's Tony Atlas. He's talking to Mark Dustin. Until we speak again, folks, you and yours be well.